Bada boom, bada bing.
And
I
there we
think we're
are.
live. Are we
There it
live?
is.
Are we live?
I think
Can you
I
tell?
think we are. They'll catch up to us. They got a delay. Yep, we're live. Popped up on my phone.
Cool. Got some. Oh, look at. We already got a lot of comments. Troy I don't ever pronounce his last name right. Barber. Evening. Mike Rich. Evening from
Or,
Northern California. Brett must be taking a nap. I needed one today, but I didn't take one. Rick
oh,
Cooley. Hi from Kentucky. Cass River Ranch, Siberian Lycus. Whoa, where'd they go? Evening, gents. Randy Riggs, you're only as old as you feel, and some days that's pretty old for me. I know that feeling.
yeah,
Good evening,
me too
y'all.
lately.
Chris Villa Pena, Cass River
Yeah,
West.
that,
When you get up in the
that's
morning,
our Tennessee supplier.
all right. When you get up in the morning and sit on the edge of the bed to make sure everything is working before you just take off. It's like a guy told me, said if you get up in the morning and nothing hurts, you better just go back to bed because you're probably dead.
Yep, that's a fact. I
Jeremiah,
cut
wait
wood
till you're in your
Saturday.
60s and think back to when you're in your 40s and so young. Oh, I know.
Yeah, I'm 49. And I
Jeremiah,
look
got
back.
some cheater dust coming in. All right, been avoiding it so far. I wish I mean, I don't have nothing against about going out and using the snow. I just don't want to
I
drive a
wish
long
it
ways
snowed
to do
here.
it, use it.
I wish it snowed here so I can get out.
Mr. Fix, no sound, no sound. Oh, that was earlier. I need one too. Can
Oh,
everybody hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
they can hear us. They'd have already been on there complaining.
Think so? They're being
Yeah,
selfish with the thumbs ups now.
they're shy. I cut some wood Saturday. Can hardly stand up straight last few days. Speaking of old age.
You know, I have really felt good this last week.
Oh man, that scares me even worse sometimes.
My I
You
you know
know,
I had trouble with my what do you call it, your sciatic nerve?
sciatic nerve.
Yeah, but I started doing some these little yoga exercises. Nobody laugh, but they
I was
help.
gonna say we can get Russ McSpadden to help you out.
Who's Russ McFadden?
The guy McSpadden, the guy spearheading the Center for Biological Diversity to shut down lion hunting.
Is he a yoga guy?
He's supposed to be a yoga instructor.
Oh wow.
I don't know. Supposed to
Well,
be.
I don't know.
So that
I
makes
do
him an
it.
expert on lion hunting.
I do it. Makes me feel good, but I'll guarantee nobody wants to watch me do it.
Didn't all those football players coach used to make them do ballet?
It's good for balance.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So
Benny texted he's having to work late, so he's going to be a little late this evening. Told him, I said, I don't know what we're going to do without you here.
yeah, and he the old guy.
He's the old guy. He's just a couple years older than I am.
I guess we should
Okay,
get
here you
that
go,
out of the way.
Chris. How did the
I know.
meeting go in Phoenix? Give us a rundown.
Let me tell you how the meeting went in Phoenix. Absolutely, I was 100% happy with it because we had over 60 people. Let's reverse. So we do this a lot. I've been listening to our podcast, and we need to explain ourselves sometimes better because if you come in on the middle of a podcast, that imagination might wander. But Friday, we had a meeting with the Game and Fish. It was a commission meeting. So what we were talking about wasn't on the agenda, and what we're talking about was the Center for Biological Diversity. Sounds good, right? All their names and their big words, and um, their petitioned the Game and Fish Department to do away with hound hunting. And this time, they tried to kind of be a little sneaky and diverse about it, I guess I could say, and not. They tried to split the groups up. I want to say because in this they said this doesn't have nothing to do with the bird dog guys, because they know the bird dog guys got money. Those guys don't mess around.
Are you insinuating this hound guys don't have any money?
Yes, we're broke asses. We have 10 dogs. They have one dog, maybe two. So, but they petitioned the Arizona Game and Fish Department to do away with hounds because there's a lot of reasons they're saying, because our pack of dogs are going to kill jaguars.
Yours have never
Kind of
killed a jaguar?
no, well, no, just mortally wounded it where it probably went off and died on its own. So that's what I've been bringing up is show me a pack of dog that can kill a jaguar. Anybody you talk to, anybody, they laugh when you say dogs will kill a jaguar. Ocelots, they list the ocelots. They list how they're running wildlife, harassing wildlife. They're bad for the ecosystem. They're chasing hikers. I mean, it's just a entourage of just crap. They just dig out of the cesspool and throw into these
I know
petitions.
I know a guy's dogs. This has been many, 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 many years ago. Treat a illegal alien.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
If you look at those in Africa, they use those dogs to go after those poachers. I think there was I'm just going to go off what I think I remember. A guy from Texas or somewhere went over there and they had pictures of those poachers in trees because those dogs would treat them poachers.
Sorry for interrupting
So,
you. Changing
yeah,
your
that's fine.
story here.
So, we kind of, this came out on November 25th. I got a text from actually Colorado. It shows you how good I am on social media or paying attention to stuff. I'm trying to do better, guys. So then I started sending out stuff, talking to people. We had Howl for Wildlife on last week. That podcast will be on probably this Thursday. A little late, but we had Chuck
Who's
Podolak.
is that your podcast?
Yeah. We had John Stallone on Wednesday. We had Chuck Podolak on Monday. So it was kind of like a call to arms, and then you get the people, and I'm gonna kind of bury into some of these people. I text some people and said, "Hey, you guys gonna be there?" Well, it's not on the agenda. Okay, well, all you houndsmen out there that are always whining about offense, this is offense. This is letting the Game and Fish Department say, no, listen, we just found out about this literally 7, 8, 9 days ago, 25th. We're here on the 6th. And we're letting you know this is BS. So we had over 60 people show up and talk about we don't support the ban. Now that 60 is a pretty good number.
Oh yeah.
there was I don't know 10 or 15 from other regions on the camera. So we had I don't know 40, 50 there. We had more. That's just 60 over 60 people. I've heard someone told me 62. I had a guy watching and taking notes on everybody that talked. And some said 65. The kind of the just thing that really got me amped up is we had falconers there. We had bow hunters there. We had upland bird hunters there. We
And
had, I think, Big
they
Chief
they
Society, maybe somebody was there.
they were all
A
there
guy showed up.
They were all
Yeah,
there to support the houndsman.
they were. They
That's
were.
cool.
And there was other groups there. Howl for Wildlife, John Stallone showed up. Hunt Arizona guy, I can't remember his name, guys, but he's everywhere. Hunt, Hunt AZ on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere.
Is
He
that a
was there.
nonprofit, or is that a
And
what
I
is
think he's just a guy who posts a bunch of stuff. I don't know if he's nonprofit, but he
just
does post a lot of stuff. Yeah, you can go to Hunt AZ on Facebook, or he has a group. He was there speaking out, and we had 10 kids. 10 kids speak out.
cool?
So my kids were nervous. I said, I guess I could probably send you a little clip to play of one of the kids.
Yeah,
Um,
send it over.
But it was just really, it was really cool because the variety of people that were there, I was really happy with. You know, that a variety of people showed up. Let me see here.
So they're gonna have a hard time getting anything through, I bet.
I, you never want to
You
say
don't want to say
it's
that
not.
because then everybody will stay home and
It's
not do
never want to
anything.
say it's not going to happen. But I mean, when you watch the commissioners, let me see if I can send this to you. It might be too big. So when the commissioners are listening to the kids and they're smiling, like they have big smiles on their face, it's really kind of cool. So let's see if that was in. So we just typed out a little thing. Took them 10, 20 seconds to do it. And there was grown men there that were scared to go up there and talk.
There goes your internet again, Chris. Is he froze? He's froze for me. He's been having some technical difficulties. We were kind of late coming on because of him. There he is.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
How much did you hear?
You better repeat it.
Well, the kids went up, and you watch those. The commissioners really love the kids, and everybody clapped for the kids, and it was really, really cool.
Real
So
supportive. That's cool.
yeah, trying to. Oh, it might have sent. It might have went through.
Yes, sir. Let me see if I can do this now. Last time I had a hard time.
I don't know why my internet's so crappy right now. It kind of makes me angry.
Where does it go when I do that? Where in the heck does it go?
It goes to a file somewhere.
Yeah, and oh, here we go.
I even restarted my computer, restarted my internet. Elon's messing with me tonight.
Oh, you're on Starlink too.
Yeah.
Have you
It
seen
looks
that
good
new?
now. The mini,
Yeah.
where it's all one unit.
Yes.
I was talking to an undercover guy about that, and he was saying something that it might not be like hold as much or do as much with it. I'd have to look it up and see.
Well, I'll be.
Froze.
You're froze again?
No, so I was reading comments. Hello from Reserve. Massengale. Someone
See,
just asked me about this. A Cody Massengale, I think.
from Reserve.
Hang upside down. Oh no, Missy. Those teeter tables, if you're talking about my back, if I stretch my back, I got spinal bifida. So I have big holes in my spine it's no good in my lowers. So I was leaning over, cutting wood out of my pile of wood. And man, I couldn't stand up straight. I still can if I sit too long. How does the commissioner of Arizona get that job? Is he appointed by the governor? So he puts in an application. Actually, John Sloan had kind of, or no, it was Chuck Podolak explained it. They have to put in an application. It has to go through they have to okay it through the Game and Fish, and then it goes then the governor signs it, and then after that, whoever the committee is says okay. So they have to put in an app. Yeah, it's appointed, but it's not just the governor saying, "Hey, you can do this." This is what I got from Chuck. And then they replace one every 5 years, is what it is. So I guess if you're on the chopping block that 5 years, you're on the chopping block.
I'm working on it, Chris.
I should have sent it to you earlier.
Yes. Here we
Busy.
go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
This
And his dad told me he was nervous. I didn't see it. Lyndon Watson, come on down here. Lyndon, be careful getting up on that stool, and we want to hear from you.
Hi, my name is Lyndon Watson. I'm a second generation houndsman. I'm here to say that I will be against any ban of the use of hounds. I do not want to see the traditional use of hounds go away. It is a big part of my childhood, and I want it to be part of my kids' life as well. Because of this tradition, I got to harvest my first bear with hounds this year. I want to thank the commissioners for listening to me today.
Nicely done, Lyndon. We appreciate you. You did a really good job.
That's cool.
they were really nervous when he said that's part of the. Trevor had already spoke, and I had talked to that commissioner in the hallway, and I said, "Well, they're going to try to speak, but they're nervous." And then Trevor went up there. And his was a little shorter, but I mean, they went up there and like Mike Rich said, I don't think I could do it. I didn't think I could do it the first time either, and you just if I don't, I had read mine. I had to write something down. I could probably go up there and speak, but you know how it is. We get off on it'd be like this show. I get off on a ramble, and and you only got 2 minutes to
Well, they
speak.
kick you off after 2 minutes, so.
And I think it used to be 3, but we literally had so many blue slips. You have to go into the Game and Fish. You get there a little early. They open at 8. You fill out your blue sheet that says who you are, and you want to speak. So all these people, 60 plus people, spoke on this ban that only got petitioned the week before on a Wednesday. So now it's Friday, So I think the turnout was great. But what I want to tell people now, and I want to really stress, is you got to be for those 60 people that didn't show up last Friday, you got to show up to the January meeting. You know what I mean? You can show up again, you got to show up again. But this is what playing offense is, and this is what people don't understand is this is offense. So, and I had people say, "Well, it's not on the agenda." Well, yeah, it's not on the agenda, but we're going to go there every month. I'm going to every meeting and telling them, you know. And then me and Jared actually are trying to figure out how we can petition for some stuff. And I was supposed to look in that today, and Jared called me and said, "Hey, did you find out about that?" And I'm like, "Oh man," and you know, I was trying to get a bank account open for the AWDA, and then it's not through the commission, corporate commission yet. It's showing something and not what it's supposed to, so I have to wait.
When
So anybody who wants, what's
when do you
that?
think you'll have your organization up and running? The AW
I planned
whatever.
on the first of the year. Like I planned on January really kicking it off, but because of these buffoons
What
that
what's your plans? What do you want to do or accomplish with the organization?
I want to stay offense is what I want to do. You know what I
So,
mean? I want to raise money for the next 10 years if they don't come back for 10 years, and if they come back, and then we fight them with that. And that's what people need to understand as well is you can't just raise money the last minute, you know. And I think I don't want people to think, "Oh, well, Colorado beat them, haha, we're good." No, you're not good. That was a big struggle in the end and real quick, and we knew it was coming back, and we shouldn't have stopped in 2018 when they didn't get enough signatures. But they're going to
so
be back in 2 years with signatures to get it on the ballot.
so if you raise enough money, that will provide you with the funds to be able to go to all these meetings and do everything like that. Do you think that is it would it be necessary to raise enough money to be able to have a lawyer that you could have on
No, No, that's the plan. We got
Yeah.
Conserve and Protect Arizona. That was that Chuck Podolak that was on last Monday. They have a lawyer on retainer. He shows up in a sport coat and he talks these big words.
There
He
you
did that
go.
interview. He did that interview with the oh goodness, Channel 12 News. And here's the other deal when you're getting into stuff like this, and I know Dan Gates and all them guys, CRWM have to deal with it. And I just read some stuff on the internet. Just people. There's always going to be those people. There's always going to be those people. I'm surprised we don't have none on tonight yet, but
What those people? What do you mean?
that have to be negative about everything. Oh, screw the game and fish. They're not going to do nothing. Oh, they're going to do whatever they want. Oh, they're going to, it's just that attitude, that it kind of irritates me,
Yeah.
because at least you're not just going to sit there in the end and say, well, I guess I should have done something. But
I
if you do something and they don't do something for you, then you can complain about it.
I mean, I have kind of I don't know. I don't like that kind of stuff. But I think those of us that don't like it, that don't want to get involved in all that, we should
Mm-hmm.
support guys like you who are going to get involved and go out there and
Mm-hmm.
speak for us. I mean, I think that's important. And I
Yeah.
mean, to set up, like you say, set up that organization where you have a lawyer and if you get enough money in, then you could, have somebody write newspaper articles or submit to magazines and do all kinds of
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Let's
Cal
see.
show about him talking about this in Arizona, an item I didn't know about in New Mexico. Did you see it?
No, I didn't. Man, I've been so busy.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I didn't know Meat Eater was. Oh, Cal's show. Yeah, I don't want.
Who's
I have
Cal?
him.
Cal's show on Meat Eater.
Yeah, he has a podcast as well. I don't listen to it too much. I hardly listen to anything anymore. I've been so busy.
That's the
And I
way
tell you,
I've
it takes
been.
up time and money, and people understand. I mean, I just started ADWA, and I'm already $1,500 deep in it, just setting it up. I'm not even done yet. I'm not even done. So everybody that's whining about $50 a year, we had this conversation too. I've had this conversation with plenty of people, that says, I think it was, John Sloan from Hal. That was like, some people can't afford $150. Not all up front, but they could sure spend $10 at Circle K here and there all year, which if you add it up, if you went through your debit charges and added up, it'd probably be $1,000 of stuff,
You're getting personal now.
you know? So, yeah, Starbucks, Netflix, cigarettes,
Well, you talked.
soda.
You and I talked earlier today, I guess it was, that like if you could get some of these bigger companies, I mean, W Hunting Supply, whatever, all these companies to donate things to raffle off. That's how you could raise money, and it's still, people are getting some kind of benefit besides what you're
Oh,
going to do, but the benefit of possibly winning, a ton of dog food or whatever, whatever would help
oh
them.
yeah, and and we talked about that today. Is people don't want to just give money for nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a good cause, but a lot of people are weary of where the money goes. I mean, we've had that argument about Dan Gates, but these people don't understand how much of your life you have to give up. Like just since I got that text from Colorado on Wednesday, I've been on the phone. I can't even edit a video because I'm on the phone and it's hour calls. It's other organizations, it's people. You know what I mean? So,
It got a little
uh,
button on the side of that phone, or there it's a do not disturb.
yeah. Well, if someone wants to come over and run this and do something instead of sit at home, or go hunting, I don't get to go hunting as much. And Dan Gates gave up his life for it, basically. I bet you he's happy now. He could actually go do some
So,
trapping and stuff.
would you be willing to give up all that other stuff to be able to pursue this and be
Well,
the front man for all this?
I already am. I don't want to be.
No, but
I'm like everybody
are you
else,
willing
you
to do
know.
it though? Are you not? I mean,
Yeah,
you're
I
not going
am
to get
doing it.
halfway through it and say, "Man, I got to get out of here. I'm done."
Oh yeah, I wish.
No,
Well,
no,
if
you got
someone
to.
else
Now
wants to
you're
come
him
in,
hawing here.
no. If someone else wants to come in, I would do it, but I'm already doing it. There's
You
no
would you would
backing out of it.
you would happily hand it over to somebody else.
Oh, if someone smarter than me, someone that had probably more intelligence, more ambition, or you know, probably look less like a hillbilly. But that's why I don't mind working in the shadows. That's why I don't mind working with conserve and protect. But then we go back to the whole situation of people are like, oh, well, I've been told this. Oh, they're part of the antis. They don't do nothing. It's like, it don't matter who you go with, you're going to get that, you know. Just like George Lambert, he said, I'm going to give away a dog lead if you go check your bear at the main station. And sure as crap, someone jumps on there and says, how do you trust the game and fish? They should have done, you know, and I just left a message. You're going to get those guys. You're going to get those guys that hate, but you can hate all
Oh
you
yeah.
want, but come do it. Come do it. I would rather pay you $100 a month. And there's no reason until for the next 2 years, these people can't put up $50 a month, $20 a month, not $50 a year. What is that going to do with anything? 20
So
bucks a month.
do you think that? I mean, you setting all this up, and then you can sit back in the shadows and kind of keep things running, and maybe have a spokesperson of some sort.
That's
Would you
what
feel
I'm
more
going to.
comfortable with that?
Oh yeah, that's why I got in touch. I got hold of Dan Gates and I said, "Hey man, I got Channel 12 News. What do I do? I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm the guy that likes to punch people in the face for mouthing off. You know, I'm the person that like to call them idiots. I'm like, you're stupid. Like,
Brainwashed
if
idiots.
any of you hunters listening right now, go over to Mountain Lion Sightings on Facebook, and listen to these people. I was in an argument today because oh man, they're calling us little wiener people who kill Maine. I'm just like, what do you guys? I said, it was just an argument all day, and you can't win with these people because they're
No, well, you can't win with the
it's
antis.
not
It's the people that
they're
are in
not
between.
uneducated. They just honestly. So I said, I on one of the posts, I said, I tell you what, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. All your data you guys say you
Oh,
have.
I thought you were talking about
They
something else.
literally said there's no data showing that the wolf or lion population decimates the deer and elk herds. I'm on what? It's just crazy. I mean, it really. Sierra Club influence game and
That's
fish
your
to
buddy.
jumping on. Is he calling me Mr. Blind? I hope that's not to
Mr.
me.
Blind. I don't know who it is. I don't.
Anyways,
Oh, I can't. I don't know if I could tolerate that page. I don't think.
no, it's hard, and it's hard. It's hard to be that front man. This is why I reached out to Dan. Dan put me in touch with Conserve and Protect Arizona because they're having a meeting this week with Colorado. Hey, how'd you do it? You guys should see the text Dan sent me. It's a damn book. This is what you need to do. This
Really.
is what you need to do. Yeah,
That's cool.
and he dropped. I had two people drop the name, you know, Chuck Podolak. So that's who I'm going to. And if anybody else out there has a problem with that and wants to take a lead, then stand up. Don't just sit back there and whine like little babies. Don't just try to, oh, they this and that, and they did this and they did that. Okay, so what?
Well, anytime you put yourself out there, you're going to get naysayers and complaints and stuff. That's just part of it.
Okay.
Your attack on
This
me at
is
6:30 p.m. was BS Read that post, dumbass.
Yeah, you're an idiot. I don't know who you are. This Terry Metler is on everybody's shit. I've tried to be nice to this guy. He just spreads a bunch of dumb shit
Well,
that
he
you
just
ask him.
called
He
he
says
just
I delete stuff.
he just called you
Eh,
out, man.
yeah, yeah.
Called you a
Okay,
dumbass.
show me the post. Show me the post, Terry Metler. Show me the post that I called you out or your attack on you. You're so dumb. Now I'm telling you, you're dumb. I seen your stupid shit on. He's the one that I'm going to bust him out right now because I try to be nice and not say names. Then you
Do
got
it.
idiots like this
Do it.
who get on, and say all this crap, and when you ask them to back it up, they don't have nothing. Chris, you deleted me. I looked. The post is there, moron. I didn't delete you from nothing. I have better things to do than read your post and delete you. And I don't delete posts. I've had people come to me on Arizona Houndsman and say, "Can you delete that? Can you get rid of him?" No, I'm gonna leave him on there, and you guys can talk your crap, and then you guys will have that shows your character. Period. You want to talk stupid trash on the internet and go bash everybody, then pull out the facts. Don't just say stuff. God dang, dummy. Just a dummy. Attack on you 6:30 today.
I like it when
If
you
he's
get all
talking
fired
about when
up.
I told, oh, I can only handle dumb shit so much. What I did is probably got on. If this might be what he's talking about, his attack. I don't know what attack are you, liberal piece of crap. Go work for the other guys. As I said, there's going to be. Remember, I already said this on this show. George Lambert. I said there's going to be people like this that always have to be negative. It's always somebody. Oh, the game and fish. Oh, you're blind. Oh, okay. Where were you at? Where were you at today? Friday. What are you doing about any of this? Any of this? Nothing but sitting on a computer telling everybody they're stupid. So shut up. God. Idiot. Idiot. These are
Okay.
the people right here that I would rather meet in somewhere. And let's hash it out.
You want me to push the little button and ban him from our
No, leave him here so everybody
leaving
knows
me?
how stupid he is when he accuses people of attacking.
Where's
That's
he
not an
live? Where's he
attack.
from? Where's he from?
I don't know. I hadn't even spent. I hadn't even wasted the time. I'd rather waste time go taking a dump than looking this guy up. Jesus, attack.
That's good. Like to see you fired up, Chris.
Oh, you know, I'm a nice guy. I really am. But don't go into that bubble. You know what I mean? I don't need you in my bubble. You can sit out there and I'll listen to you. I'll take your advice, even if it's stupid. But dang, that's the dog she got from you, right?
I think so, yeah. That was a good litter. There's an outfitter up here that has one that's doing really good. Breck Bean down in El Paso, or down the other side of El Paso, he has one that's doing okay. He said, he's not ever real high on anything, but hey, but he catches a
Yeah.
lot of lions.
So to answer your question, it was a good turnout. It really was. And to be, I don't think pre-investment's the right word, but to be there before it happened, that's like hearing the. I bet the.
You know what? If you get your deal going and everything in time, I got a puppy that I'll donate for the raffle.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
out of
and
the
that's
best
how we
female
raise,
that I've ever had. I
you know
mean,
how we raise money for. I will never watch as Mr. Blind. Now let's talk. Alan in Texas and Minnesota needing bear hound support. Well, send an email and we'll talk about that. But if you're not going to listen to the show no more, go away. We'll talk. We'll talk to the other guys. I'm sure they're not. Bye. Bye. Everybody knows you're being stupid.
you know
F you.
that
F
even
you,
if he
Mr.
doesn't,
Blind. How am I blind? You know what? Send him a link. Send me. I'll tell you what, Mr. Trappin' Houndsman Terry Metler. We'll put you on the show. You got stuff to say. Like, Texas and Minnesota needing bear hound support. What's going on in Texas? They got bears in Texas or what? They have bears in Texas? In Minnesota?
I have no idea.
I have no idea about it. But instead of coming here and calling everybody blind and saying F you, then why don't you bring it up?
He didn't
Wait
call
a
me
minute. Are you
blind.
gonna
He said you're blind. You're Mr.
Yeah.
Blind.
No, this is your show. I will
Yeah,
never
but
watch
no,
this
but he's
program
talking to
again.
you.
F you, Mr. Blind.
I got enough enemies
I'll
without
get
bringing another one.
no, and then I'll get in. I think some of these guys get drunk because we come on too late and they're drunk or whatever they're doing. We've had it happen how many times? Then you get them. Oh well, I was misunderstood. I'm sure I'll get a bunch of stupid messages. I'm just God, people. Ask Cody. I'm blind. Just tell me what I'm blind to. That's all I want to know is
You're
what I'm
blind
blind
to
to.
Cody, Minnesota Association's leader.
Ask Cody, Minnesota Association leader. You know what? I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna call him and see if he knows how big a dummy you are. Ramble on is all you do. Blind. Tell me why I'm blind, Mr. Trapping Houndsman.
Okay, so what about old houndsmen and young houndsmen? Should we change the subject?
Well, if we was all old houndsmen and he was around, he'd probably get beat up. Now the middle houndsman, like I consider myself as a middle. Where's Benny? Yeah, where's Benny?
We need Benny.
Yeah, where's Benny? You know, there's like three houndsmen. I grew up with old houndsmen, so I learned from the old houndsmen. But I'm also watching these young houndsmen grow up, so I'm kind of in that middle transfer part of it. You know what I mean? So, and I think the younger generation is. I don't think they know the struggles of what the old ones went through. So when you have the younger ones saying, um, you shouldn't do that or that's really not right. But that's how they did it in the old days. The canned hunts is how they did it. Roping and lions how they did it. You didn't have shot collars and you didn't even have telemetry back then. You just followed your hounds and you listened. Period. And Ben Lilly kept the dog with him. So the dog would hear him and he'd watch the dog. That's somebody who knows how to run dogs and reads dogs.
Tie that dog around his waist and go.
Watch this so freaking.
Yeah, and I don't know. The old houndsmen just had it so much harder than the young guys.
But was it harder? Because that's what they were used to.
Well, but then and they also had more time. I mean,
yep.
People
less laws.
Nowadays, the way we've all been brainwashed to convince that we have to, follow that dollar all the time. Just
because you're blind.
Because you're blind. Because you're Mr. Blind. No, I mean we all have to try to. We're convinced that we have to have more and more. And the good guys, the old timers, they didn't. If they had a shack and dog food and place to keep the weather out, they were all right. Looky here. He always goes to the right of us because Benny is always to the right. Look how clear he is.
Yeah, I know.
Good afternoon, Benny.
Benny.
Yeah, it's almost time to get up. What are you talking about?
Benny just got off work, so he's going to be grumpy.
I know.
No, I'm not.
I wish he was
My
here.
days are numbered.
I wish she was here. I wish she was here earlier. I got called blind.
Oh, Chris been having an online fight with some guy, the trapping houndsman.
Terry Metler. It's that Terry Metler guy. Oh, he told me I was blind. Told me to F you.
Benny, what do you think? What's the difference between the young houndsman and the old houndsman, in your opinion?
The young houndsman. Are we talking about houndsmen or hunters?
Let's keep it to houndsman.
Yeah, it's limited.
The young houndsmen, for the most part, have it way easier.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't mean that every one of them, but it's a completely different scenario. You talk about when the Lees heard that somebody needed help, they had a stock killer or something. They just went and looked through the country and they stayed there till something happened. The same thing with Bill Workman. I don't remember, somebody told me 30 years ago, 35, 40 years ago, that Bill Workman killed 600 lions in the dirt. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that was without the aid of a telephone. There was no cell phones. No, George Jetson didn't even have a cell phone back in the day. Uh, they just like you talk about, Brett. They got on a horse or a mule and they took good dogs into good country and they made circles.
and
And today,
and could do it day after day after day after day. That's what they did.
day after, yeah, but making a living was easier too back in the day. You could make a living in 40 hours. Today, you can pay taxes for 60 hours, and then
No,
hopefully in the next 10 hours of the week, you can make a living. And it doesn't work out that way. I think social media is probably poisoning the whole entire sport. And not just the lion and the bear, but hunting period, just because people want to brag, and bragging is not always good.
well, and it becomes how can I put this in uh, a competition, I guess. And
It is more
and then
competition.
a lot of guys are, more interested in the results than the process, I guess, is how you could put it.
Well,
Then
sure, and that's I don't think that anybody has ever not wanted results,
no,
but
that's what we're all out there for. But
sure, but to some extent the focus has shifted a little. Even if it's just shifted a little bit, it's still shifted. It's like you said, it's a competition. There was always competition. There was territories and people got mad at each other, and you don't come over here in this mountain range. It's like when I was the only one hunting the Guadalupes unless it snowed. Man, I had it sewed up, but I didn't care. Somebody else want to come try to hunt the Guadalupes? Good luck. Hope you got some good dogs. But I never was that territorial because I could be 200 yards off from a track and go the wrong direction. Somebody can come park right there by me, go the other direction and hit the track, and it's not my track. It's just the luck of the draw.
that's Jeremiah. That's what I was trying to find
Yeah.
the words for without saying that.
Well, who can
Well,
stand up on the fence and crow the loudest?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably in the nature of young guys just to be like that anyway, no matter what you're doing. And after you
I
get
think you
some,
have big shoes.
eh,
You have big shoes to fill. You got these old guys that just caught lion after lion, but they're not going out on their days off because they had no days off. There was no days off. It was
that's what they
constantly
did.
running lions.
That's what.
And what how did it affect the dogs when now when we hit the res line, we pull the dogs off, we tone them back. If we're on something, we tone them back. We have that. Chance to do that. In the old days, they followed their dogs. I remember, you read Vance's book, and he's doing 9 mile circles on foot. He's going out on
Yeah,
foot. He's staying out there on foot. There's nobody staying out there trying to build a fire. Half these people, 90% of these people couldn't even build a fire with what they have on them. Those people like Warner and Ed and all them, they just had the bare essentials on them. They didn't have this expensive gear. Is that what made those dogs better? Because they had to go.
they were just on
Well,
the
and
land. Even if they were out gathering cattle or checking waters or putting out block or whatever they were doing, they were on the land, and their chances of cutting a runnable lion track was that much greater.
and so that brings in the rancher aspect of it too, Brett. And today's ranchers aren't the same as yesterday's ranchers.
No.
And that's not to say that all of them are because there still are some, but um, heck, when I first moved over here to New Mexico, and I was in the Guadalupes, and I was always stopping to look for a place to hunt, and I stopped into this guy's sheep ranch in the Guadalupes, and I asked him about hunting, and he said, "Well, I don't really want any dogs in my sheep." And he didn't tell me that he had poison out, but he had poison out. And he said, he came from town and he bought this ranch. He inherited some money. And he said, I've never had an easier job in my life than ranching. I get to watch TV and then I hire somebody to mark my lambs and I hire somebody to gather them and hire somebody to do this and hire somebody. He didn't have a clue what was going on out there. He could have had 35 coyotes in one pasture and he'd have never known.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
Brett, you're talking about when I was hunting with Don Pock, I wasn't hunting with Don Pock as much as I was working cows with Don Pock. But he always had 3 hounds, a minimum of 3 hounds. And his hounds would work cows, but as soon as his hounds balled at a lion track, Don Pock and Benny Griffin pulled out and the cow works was over.
That's like that interview with Sewell
Good win. Yeah, W.
Goodwin on that Bruce Kennedy did. It's was always his problem is if he was out having to do work and there was a lion track somewhere, the work didn't get done. He went and trailed a lion. Yeah, the young
It
hunters do have it
definitely was.
better. Electronics,
I
cell
don't.
phones, better dogs, better trucks. The equipment is a lot better than when I started in the 70s. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
think better
The
dogs?
dogs have
You
not.
really think
No, the
better
dogs
dogs?
haven't changed. No, the
Maybe.
dogs
I mean,
haven't changed. There's always been
what?
good dogs.
Yeah.
The
You
difference
think they're?
is
I mean, they have the
what?
easier way now. I'm just wondering if the dogs have to work as hard. I mean, you're going out there with a lighter as a flashlight. They had crappy flashlights. I mean, I feel like you'd be out there more in the old days with those dogs. You know?
I think that
Speaking
you
of
have
flashlights,
with the
Do you think
internet.
that technology made the dogs work less? Like
Well,
because
it
you're.
gets back to your style of hunting. What do you do?
Hmm.
You know, if you drag roads and you camp on a fresh track and you dump your dogs out on a fairly fresh track right there that is only, let's just say it's 5 hours old by the time daylight comes. That's a different deal than going riding and going off till at 9:30 this morning we finally found that track. Well, you're talking about 3.5 hours difference, maybe four
Right.
hours
S-
difference.
speaking of
When
flashlights, Olight sponsors me. If you use that code B100YTL, you get a percentage off. Don't ask me how much, but you get so much off. And they send me a kickback.
There you go.
I just
And
thought
they're good lights.
that was a good segue into that. I never bring that up on this channel, but I thought I would.
And the you know these cameras, I guess they're outlawing. I don't keep up with all that, but when you get a camera picture and you know when it was and you can go over there and you know exactly where to go find that track, you're not wasting a bunch of time traveling around just covering ground hoping that you stumble onto something. So there's a lot of difference, and sometimes I think it helps the dogs and sometimes I think it cripples the dogs.
Any of the old guys you hunted with, Benny, drag roads?
Not one. If they drug a
Better
road, it's
advice.
because they got their foot hung in the stirrup and their mount took off.
I've drug roads before.
Oh yeah, I have too.
Not with my foot in the stirrup, but
No,
I
that was only
I
one time
almost
down the
did
hill.
one time.
No, it's just, I mean, you get to knowing your country and you know where to go look, and you can drive down a road and this wash or this draw crosses right here, and this is where the lions like to travel or the bears like to travel, and so you can stop and look right there. I was with David Heiss one time, and You know where Box Canyon is between Socorro and Magdalena?
Oh yeah.
I said, hey, David, pull off over here. Let's get out of the pickup for a minute. And we went over there in Box Canyon, and he says, what are we looking for? I said, I bet there's a bobcat that frequents this place. And boom, there was a bobcat track. And he said, have you ever seen a bobcat track there? I said, I've never been down in the bottom. He said, then what made you stop? I said, it looks like a good place for a bobcat.
Looks like catty country.
Yeah, and when you spend enough time learning the quarry, you know, the bear hunters know where to go look for a bear.
Do you have certain spots, Chris, where you just always go and you're pretty sure you're going to hit a bear there?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I had a mountain, and everybody knows it, but because I was always on it, and everybody was on it. I have a mountain that if you didn't catch, I caught two bears in one day on the same mountain. Like
Yeah.
I caught one in the morning, and then I went back caught another one. It's a different one. They got there when you're hunting bears, like where I hunt. You're looking for the acorns. You're looking for that row, and I know
For the feed.
if you get up high, you can see those just long stretches of oak trees. Those bears are going to feed right up those oak trees. Why wouldn't they? You know, if they're not feeding on the res bait barrels and they're over here feeding on the oak trees. What
Oh,
is it
can they
like this
bait?
year?
Can they bait on the
Oh
res?
yeah, yeah. And they say they have to pull them and all this crap. I don't think they do. I've seen a significant drop in some units across that uh, the reservation, and they get some big bears down there. You know, if I was against any hunting, I don't like baiting. You know, I get kind of sick of these guys saying hounds are cheating when they're sitting on a bait barrel.
Yeah.
You know, it just and I've been in arguments where I know
Poor.
a guy who's been behind hounds. He don't have hounds. He's a hunter. You know, he's a big hunter. He spends that $100,000 on tags. He and he follows to get lions. He uses hounds. Now, when I talk about bears, he says that's not fair. I'm a bears are more vicious than lions.
Poor
Bears
little
do more
bear just
damage than
coming in
lions.
trying to get something to eat.
Yeah, and I'm all yeah, and he does. He hunts on the res baiting like he hunts on those bait barrels. I said, "You're telling me it's unfair to chase a bear? It's not right to chase a bear with hounds, but you chase lions." Yeah, but lions are harder to. I'm like, I don't know who you're hunting. Come hunt with me with some bear. Because them bear, if they want, they'll kill every dog you have. You know, lion can
Well,
do the
not
same
only that,
thing if they
Chris, but
want.
somebody like that's never been on one of those bear hunts where the race started out early in the morning. You never got close. You personally never got close to the bear, and you spent the next month looking for your dogs.
Yeah,
That that
I,
that sums up my bear hunting right there.
I, maybe I've been extremely lucky, or maybe I just pay attention, or I do things different. You know, we lost. Shoot, I've only lost one dog. Like lost a dog, never found a dog, and it was one of them Viking deaths. He was an old dog, and he wouldn't quit. But other than just loot, you know, I've never had one killed by a bear or lion. I've had one cut one time, and I've had one fall off a cliff, you know, it was a waterfall. So I've been extremely lucky, you know, but the best GPS you have is that phone number on them tags.
Yeah.
Period.
So,
You know,
what you guys decide? What's the qualifications for being an old hunter or being a young hunter?
I
Hey, Chris, you're in your 40s, so
so
you're
I think
you know
I'm right in the middle. I think
you're
I've
middle
known the
age.
old guys and I know the new guys.
Yeah, but you didn't. Did you really know the old guys? Because getting to be one of the old guys, and I knew the old guys. I talked to Dale Lee on the phone several times.
Yeah. No, those like to me like those old guys like Steve Smith and Henderson. I mean they're I mean that's the last of the old guys. That's the last of the people who hunted like you could hunt in the old days. You know, I'm a guy that has rules. And what is it going to be like, when you talk about 20, 30-year-olds right now getting into it, when they're 20 years down the road, who's going to be the old guy? Me? And what am I say? I had GPS. I didn't use callers. I didn't have nothing until 2008, and I bought GPS. I didn't run telemetry. I had some shot collars to find them. Boop, burp, there they are. You know.
Yeah, I
That
was
was
the
the best
Kirby
thing in the
dog.
world.
Yeah, I
Best
see
thing in the
that.
world when they came out with the shock collar built in with the tracking collar. I remember collaring
Yeah,
dogs and putting the Tritronics, and we had the black thing with
yeah,
the red, blue, and yellow button, I guess, on it, or green, and then having
yeah. And
to
it was only six.
put
Only
your
six.
put your beep beep collar on there, pull the magnet,
Yeah,
and then chase beep forever.
yeah. Ricocheting beep, bouncing beep.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
I mean, those guys are right on that verge of being extinct. These guys are in their 70s and 80s now, and some of those guys that remember their story, that goes to show you too. Maybe it's their diet. They didn't drink all the Red Bulls and eat all the red dyes or red 40s or whatever. Because Dale Lee was 80 years old telling stories like it was yesterday. And I'm over here trying to remember if I got up this morning and if I peed before those guys to tell those stories with such meticulous detail is crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Look at Joe Hott, same thing. He just tells those stories. And I feel I don't have those stories. I mean, how many people that are 40 years old have those stories like that? I mean, we have the stories where, yeah, GPS and took me, my GPS, my DC-30 died. I was using DC-30s up to May of last year. You know, I'm only like 8 months into these new collars. So those
I
DC-30s are
had
the people were making fun of me for being prehistoric, and I got those in
I had DC-30s,
2008.
Chris. I had DC-30s, and I didn't even put them on my dogs. And the only reason I started using those, because Larry Hendricks, 19 years older than me, shamed me into it.
That
He
you
said,
owe it
He's
"You
to the
can
smart.
figure."
dogs.
Yeah, he says, "Look, I got this thing figured out. What's holding you?" And the reason that we were talking about it was because I had bought some dogs and tried to shore up my deal, and some guys up here in the mountains at the Capitans stole two of my dogs, and well, it was going south in a hurry. I was getting ready to go to prison. You know who saved my whole bacon for me, Brett? Shit the bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
But anyway, and that's what Hendricks was saying. Well, you've got those collars. Why don't you put them on? Then you don't have to worry about that.
Let's
But,
see.
it's. I talked to Cody on the way home tonight. I called him just to ease up some time, and
Cody.
Cody King.
Oh, Cody King. Yeah.
He's already in bed asleep now, but he said, tell everybody, hey, but we were talking about this. He says, I'm still the kid. He said, I'm 42 years old and I'm the kid.
Yeah.
I said, who's doing what you're doing younger than you? He said, nobody.
Yeah, very few
So
people.
that's where
I
you.
mean, I still feel, like I'm the kid when, because I talk to a lot of these old guys, and I, I, I just always have felt like there's so much more I have to learn, before I could call myself an old guy.
I didn't have to call myself an old guy when the kids in the restaurant start asking you if you want the senior discount. It's like, well, hell yeah, if I could save 25 cents.
Yeah, I don't think the new guys have the ambition that the old guys did. I don't have the
What do you
ambition the old guys did.
what do you think the old guys, if they had access to everything that we have access to now, I
Oh,
bet they'd
I
use
don't.
every bit of it.
Well, the problem is they didn't have phones and they didn't have TV.
No, I know, but if they
That's
had,
probably 100% of the problem.
well, they didn't have that to distract them and leave them sitting on the
Yeah,
couch. But still, with the cameras and the fancy tracking equipment and the UTVs and buggies and all the stuff they have now, how many of them do you think would use it if they could afford it?
I don't I don't think they'd get out of the saddle.
I think they'd use
You can
it. I
take your
think they
horse
use.
and your mule. You can take your horse and your mule absolutely anywhere that buggy won't go. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
But yeah, but they still. I mean, even Warner Glen has GPS.
oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
Like,
I think.
But
I
running
think.
up and down,
I
I mean,
think if they got
in
to, if they had that technology 40 years ago, with the rules they had 40 years ago, I think we'd have rules 40 years ago.
but
You
don't
know what
these
I mean?
guys run up and down road? I mean, in areas where there's a lot of roads, don't they run up and down with their buggies and their dog boxes on the
Oh
back,
yeah,
and they might pass by an old lion track to get to a fresher lion track or something like that, won't they?
yeah. I think they do.
but the old guys, a lion track was a lion track, Brett.
Oh no,
Oh
If the
yeah.
dogs, if the dogs could peck at it and hammer on it, they just let them work.
So mentally, it was a whole different ball game.
yeah.
I get you myself. I have a GPS, and you guys might do this, but I catch myself listening and saying, "Gosh dang it, where are they going to go? What are they doing?" And I'll sit there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and listen, and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I could look on my GPS." I think when you first get your GPS, you look at it like it's a new girlfriend, and
I
then once,
I don't pull mine out until I have to. I mean, I try not to pull mine out. I really do. I try to, and that, I mean, that's the advantage of the country I hunt in, and also because of the, hunting lions, because most of your time you fairly close to the lion or fairly close to the hounds. You kind of have to back out and kind of stay out of their way and let them work those tracks. And I think that'd probably be the difference between, yeah, I mean, with the bears, I could see getting glued to that GPS and watching where your dogs are going and everything. Now, Cody King, when you hunt with him, now he's got one of those big old, the big screen deal, and I mean
oh yeah,
he's an
I wish
expert
I
at
had
that
one of
thing.
those.
He's an expert at watching that thing and seeing which dog's doing what and everything. I mean, he's good at it.
Yeah, I think if you handed them all that gear today, they'd use it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, how about those cameras? That's the biggest cheat in the world right there. I mean, you imagine if Dale Lee or them guys, they know where all the lines cross. Don't you think if they had cell phone service in those saddles or those crossings that they would have a camera hung up there if they could afford it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, but I think too, Brett, that part of the total understanding and comprehension of the animal is missing because I could
Yeah,
go into some
absolutely.
country,
But don't you think they would do it, especially if they had a paying customer they were guiding?
I don't have that answer. We can all speculate, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the
I bet you they would if making their living was on
Yeah,
it.
I think
you
they would.
know.
They'd use it in 2 seconds.
But
I,
but I think that you've hunted enough, Brett. You've done it enough that you can look at a piece of country and kind of have an idea of where the lions will travel, which saddle, and how they're going to get through the country.
Well, I guess I don't know how accurate I am. I pretend I'm out there by myself. I can pretend like I'm an old guy and I know what the hell's going on.
But I've always, and maybe it's just a sixth sense. I don't know, but I could go over and hey, there ought to be something traveling this canyon, or if I was a lion, I'd be up here on this rim, up on top of this, looking around. And um, I was over there in the Tono Basin country, and a lion had, the dogs were trailing the lion in the sand, but he was going off. It was late in the day, and he was going off into some different country. So in the morning, we went into that country, and I looked around and it was from a different angle from down below. And those kids with me said, "So where do you think?" I said, "I think we need to go over here and look at this pile of rocks." And the dog struck, and away we go for the day. And it made me look pretty smart, but I don't know. It's just it was a lucky shot, I guess, or and maybe it's because I've seen how lions travel for the last 20 years. I don't know.
Yeah. I always have places I go and or areas that or places I hit. If I'm going to go into this country back up here, I say, well, you know, I've cut lion tracks in this canyon before, or they've crossed through this saddle, or they walk down this ridge. I always hit those same spots, not necessarily knowing that there might be a lion or that there's a lion in there, but I know places that I've gone and I never hit nothing. And I stay out of those. When I was up in the mountains, I knew a little bit better, I guess. I don't know. This mountain range out here, I know pretty good. But
There's only so many ways they're going to go.
yeah, you can go in there. I think there's a female in there now. I had the farrier come out, and he had a rancher get my number. They never called me, but they had a couple calves killed, and then on the other side, just the next little mountain range over, they had. That's when I went out and I trailed those lions for 2 days and got them back into some country I couldn't go into, and so there was two lions. I think it's a female. It's got a big, yearling kitten still with her. And I think and I haven't been in this mountain range right here in a long time, and I need to go up there and make a few circles and see if I can get her started.
Who's Wayne? Wayne says, "How's the new job?" Is that directed at me, Wayne?
You're the only one
Yeah.
that's got a job around here.
Yeah, that's a fact.
The new job is not as tense as it used to be because I am going to turn in my time and be done the end of the year. Period.
Yeah, some of those places, Tim, seems like, that's where the game is, and it'll be just about everything. Little
Yeah, that's a
funnels. You
fact
got
too.
funnels that funnel everything through a certain area.
Meeks 95 said
Yeah.
it good too. As soon as I think I know where they're headed, it makes me look like a fool.
Man,
Oh
you're
man,
you're reading my book right there. That's
But you gotta part of this is deciphering for a mountain lion, decipher if that lion is headed somewhere, if he's got something on his mind, or if he's prowling around looking for something to eat. Because when they're prowling around looking for something to eat, they're gonna travel weird. Yeah, they're just weird.
well,
But
and that's the
when
way
they've got something on their mind,
females travel like that all the time anyway.
yeah.
they're in
So
no
if they
hurry to
got
get
something on
somewhere
their
different.
mind, they're going somewhere. You can look from here to there, and if they kill, if they make a kill, and you get to get on the kill, and it's not in good country, well, you need to think where's the roughest piece of country within 5 miles from here, because it's nothing for those guys. Just a lion can take off and cover 5 miles at that little lope and be done.
Let's switch gears real quick for Wayne. He texted me the other day. He got sold a dog to a guy, and that dog keeps fighting at the tree, fight, fight, fight. And I guess it's fighting with females too. And kind of asked me, I don't put up with fighting. And then he had asked me if I neutered him, if he neutered him, if it'd help out too. And a dog that's kind of aggressive, I don't know. What do you guys think? I didn't really have an answer,
Yes,
but I don't put up.
1,000%, Chris. 1,000%.
Neutering will help them.
Yes.
I
So
know it'll
I've
neutering
make all.
neutered
versus
I
force.
know
young dogs,
it'll make all the other male dogs hump them.
which
There you go,
brings in a
Wayne.
little bit of crankiness too.
That might start a fight. I know it would with me.
Well, I think he got the dog back, or he's taking dog back, but and I just don't like dogs that fight.
And
So
that's
neutering would be the best start. And if he still fights, then I'd probably
cut your
send
losses.
him down the road. Yeah, honestly.
I bought a I bought a dog from Bill. What was Bill's name over there at Apache Creek? He was a government hunter, government trapper. You remember who I'm talking about?
I can't recall right now.
But anyway, I bought a dog. I bought two dogs from him. Baldy is that was Jazz's dad, but this other dog, Blue, I just I didn't like him, and he was built weird. He looked like he should have been in traction just to get up in the morning. But he was a real aggressive dog, and so I was thinking, what am I going to do with him? And somebody said, well, have you ever neutered a dog? And I said, you know what? Yeah, I've had two or three dogs neutered, and it saved their life. So I took him to the vet, and they said, well, he's a little old, isn't he? I said, this is his only chance at life in my world. And he was he was a 6 year old dog when I cut him, and it changed his outlook the very next morning.
I'll be. Jared says that he probably has a lead deficiency.
or should have one.
Yeah, he might not have one anymore. I've
Well,
never, honestly, knock on wood, I have not in the line of dogs that I've had. I had one female that's kind of growl. You know how females will get growly and snippy, but it's not really fighting. They just don't like anything getting close to them, and that's the only problem I had. The guy up north has that dog now, but none of my male dogs have ever offered any kind of aggressiveness like that.
the only times mine have fought at the tree is when you get them jumpers, and I hate the jumpers. Yucky, tree's buried by himself, but he jumps and he lands on dogs.
Oh,
If you're, you know what I mean. If you're at a concert and some dude jumping around and smacks you in the face on accident, that's going to be a fight. That's what happens. He does his little jump flip and lands on a dog, and next thing you know, there's a fight. But I just don't like him at a tree fighting. So, because if you're not there, and sometimes it takes you a while to get there, that could cause some damage. Because once one starts fighting, man,
then they get one down and they all get on him.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But I've been at trees when I think Yucky got more aggressive at the Hound trial. So you got to watch taking them dogs to Hound trials. I won't run him there no more. He had dogs jump on him at the Hound trials.
Tell me about a Hound trial. I don't know nothing about them. What do you do?
I'll tell you about mine. Mine is small. I mean, so you get there. We usually show up Friday, camp out, build a fire. It's just a good time for the kids. And I'm gonna tell you, the Hound trials are great for getting youth.
It's a social
event.
It's a
competition. It is. It really is. We kind of stay to ourselves, the rednecks over there. All the other people are good ropers and wear good clothes and aren't dirty like I am. But they, we get up, we sign up in the morning. They do a coon drag first. On Saturday, we do a coon drag first. And they just, it depends on how many coons we could catch. If we have a couple coons, we'll put one on the back of the quad, get them dogs fired up, and hang one in the tree. They throw down a drag. They drag around their little trail. You let the dogs go. Whoever gets to the line first. And so you got line and you got tree. So if they cross that line, which is, 40 yards or 100 yards away, I don't know how far away it is. And then whoever trees first. So if they come in and tree and bark, that they win the tree. If they make it to the line first, they win the line. And then the second race on Saturday, we do a 100-yard dash. We do 100-yard dash. And they basically put coon on the back of the quad and go 100 yards and let all the dogs go. And whoever, that's tough because you got a bunch of people with cameras trying to see who made it first, And then the second competition is the single tree where you got the coon in the tree and how many barks per minute. And then they got team tree, which is 2 dogs, and they count the barks in a minute.
Man, I got a dog out in the kennel that could win one of those.
There's dogs that are built for that. There's dog, and I'm gonna tell you, if you're gonna go to the trials, just raise a dog just for the trials, because they go off points too. And I don't worry about it. Sometimes my kids win; they got little plaques all over their room, trophies. But it does become a little competition, But then we do the Saturday, we do the bear drag. and then we go to the water race. Sunday we just do coon drag, bear drag, water race. So or lion drag is Sunday. They're usually done by noon, and they give out their trophies. And then the fourth month is August, and we have a huge cook. Everybody brings food. I'll make tamales or fry bread or something there, but everybody brings food, and they have this huge raffle. I mean, I've won $300 backpacks, and I've won bedrolls, and my 6-year-old won a 20 gauge this year. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it's really good family. It's guaranteed you're going to camp 4 times in the year for people who can't get out. You know, so even if all we did was a head of the tree with a coon
I don't
cage,
know if I should let this guy in or not.
who is it, Jared?
Yeah,
Oh, he has his border jacket on. I was at Goodwill
that's
with my
right.
old lady today, and I thought I found one of those for Jared, and I thought it was a poncho, but it was just a blanket. So
Oh, really?
I
I
was gonna
like
get
them
him a
too, though.
poncho. Yep. Yeah,
Hey,
but the Goodwill
see
these days.
see these?
I'll,
You can order these from
huh?
W Hunting Supply.
There you
Look at
Oh,
go.
that. It says
shoot.
Pro Staff. Pro Staff.
I'm
Don't
gonna have to
forget
get me one of
that.
them.
I think W Hunting Supply still has them. You can get a hold of them. And I think they give me like $5.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Just go hunt with Brett, leave $5 and steal a sweatshirt.
Yep.
If you come hunt with me and bring your dogs, I'll give you one of these.
Yeah. But it's during the summer. There's no seasons going on yet, is there, Jared?
Yeah.
We're working on it. We're working
Yep.
on it.
Well, I'm
There's no
gonna have a
hunting
lion
seasons
season
right now.
next summer.
No, Lions, everything's going on right now
Right now, everything's going on. Nothing in the summer. I
when
just
you're
want to
having those
pursue.
trials.
Yeah, you have the trials in the summer, but then it
I
kind
go
of
to
breaks
those.
in the August.
I go to those trials. I don't bring a dog. I just waste money.
Yeah,
You
it's
just
just hang out, watch
go
everybody
for the
else.
social event.
You know
Yeah.
what it's
I
also
mean,
good for?
I'm too scared to bring a dog for one. I mean, you got because like those big groups like Idaho. I love watching the video. They dump 80 dogs on the bear race.
We only got
But
about 30, the most 40, and we've never had a dog fight, which is crazy to me because
yeah,
you got 30, 40 dogs lined up with no shot collars. You know, a lot of those guys, because they run the same trail. I always have collars on
and
mine, but it's
none of
crazy
the
that
dogs
there's
know
no
each other.
fights. And you know the dogs, you know the fighting dogs there. And once they get
Yeah.
too aggressive, they'll tell them to put a muzzle on or get rid of them
Yeah.
out of there. And you can't, the only time when you got dog fights is because someone has a jip and heat somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's happened to
Well,
me.
it
Throw
just
them in the truck.
like in Nevada, if your dog growls or snaps at a tree, he's out.
Yeah.
DQ'd. Can't
Mhm.
come back next year.
See, I think some
Oh,
of that's just a little bit ridiculous.
well, we give them a chance to muzzle,
Yeah,
you
because
know.
dogs are dogs,
Yep.
Yep.
and there's just posturing, and I gave a kid, his dad gave me a pup, and this this pup was, I don't know, he was probably 2 or 3, and he was actually my best young dog, male dog at the time. And this kid was saying, I wish I had some of my dad's bloodline back. His dad had passed away. And so I gave him this dog, called him Socket. I gave him Socket back. Well, he didn't want Socket for himself. He gave him to a buddy of his that's bear hunting. They didn't even acclimate Socket with the rest of the pack of dogs. They grabbed him, they threw him in the bed of the pickup. They had a dog box that covers the whole bed, just an open box. So there's posturing going on in there. They all sniffing him and, rolling him, kind of acting like they're going to roll him or something. And as soon as they jumped out of the pickup up in the woods, the other dogs jumped out first. Socket didn't want to come out, so they drug him out and threw him down. And those other dogs jumped on him, and Socket growled. self-preservation, and they shot
Yeah.
socket.
Oh,
And it's like, you stupid sons of bitches! You don't even deserve to own a damn teacup poodle to pee on your rug.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think
you gotta let dogs learn each other. Because I had my Mo dog. He didn't hunt with the other dogs for a month. He'd trail and do his stuff, but he would when the dogs were cold trailing, he'd be fit 5, 6 feet away from them. Instead, when they're cold trailing, they'll run up in between their legs
yeah,
and
they
kind
go.
of nudge each other out of the way. He wouldn't do that. He'd be 5, 6 away, kind of doing circles around the big group of dogs. He didn't want to be a part of it there for a while until about 2 weeks, a month went in.
I got to answer a question here. The coffee will be coming out soon, and the guy who's handling it is Jason with Full Cry Magazine. So we got a deal going with him.
so. Everybody send Jason an email.
Yeah, ask him when my coffee's going to be ready.
Where's Brett's coffee?
I
Chris
picked
said
it
to
out.
ask you where Brett's coffee is.
They sent me a bunch of samples, and I picked out which one I wanted.
I'm gonna
And
have to buy 2 bags of it now.
I think what you can do is get a subscription, and they'll send you a bag every month or every. I don't know how that's going to work. We'll wait until it comes out, but he's doing something like that.
My
And I have
wife's got
15
that
or 20
$400
goodies from
espresso
DU that
machine
say,
now.
"Here, all this time I thought I was special." Tim, pro staff.
You are, Brett.
Yeah.
You're still special.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
on the wrong ways. Hey, I got to show you guys something. I'll be right back. Take over,
Oh.
Chris.
Oh, look! Here goes the camera. That means he's in his shorts. Yeah, he is.
Look at you can see Jared's name right there.
He's in his underwear. So Jared's the young guy. Jared's probably the younger guy in the group.
Yeah.
So did you learn from anybody? Like who'd you? I never had like that great mentor in my life that was 70 years old and tell me everything. Some guy in the comment said the best thing about the old guys is the advice, and that's
Yeah.
absolutely true.
So there was an older guy on Instagram. His name was Vaughn Nielsen out of Utah. And I still do what he tells me. I mean, I haven't talked to him in years, but he just told me, he's like, get out of the damn truck.
Yeah.
That's all he ever said. He's like, you find a lion track in the snow, dirt, whatever. He's like, just get out of the truck and follow him. He's like, you won't lose one following him on foot. You lose them when you drive around.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And then I didn't really understand anything about lions for a long time. And when I moved to Nevada, my buddy was my uncle just got out of prison. He used to hunt lions. And so I went and caught my
That one,
first two
that one got me,
lions with
Jared.
him. So, yeah, I went and caught my first 2 lions with that guy. And he was a wealth of knowledge when it come to lions and how they walk and stuff. He was a cowboy. He dropped out of high school and became a day working cowboy. But then he went back to prison, so we couldn't hang out anymore.
Did he sell Benny some lion kittens and get caught, or what?
Right? No, he liked to stay awake for a couple days and look for lion tracks.
Not the natural
For the
way.
record,
Yeah.
for the
It wasn't
record,
just
I've never
coffee.
bought any lion kittens. The only lion kittens I've ever had were some that I caught myself, and nobody knew.
And that was
But
a long time ago.
That was
and then
back when I was still young.
I caught those 2 lions, and there was only one other lion hunter in Fallon at the time that was catching game. And
See, I'm not in my
my
underwear.
buddy knew him.
Well, we hope you're still in your underwear.
I don't go raw very often.
Don't talk about that with Jared. There was a conversation
Please,
today
Jared,
about that.
continue on.
And then I got a phone call from when I was bartending. this other lion hunter's daughter used to come in and ask for sodas or coffee at this coffee shop bar where I was bartending at. And she'd always come in. My dad caught a lion today. My dad caught a lion today. And I'm like, I don't care. I caught my two, I'm just happy. And she'd always rub it in my face. Well, after I caught the second lion, the guy actually called me and said, "Hey, I'm at this address. We're drinking beer in the shop. Come over." And I went over there, and then after that, he took me underneath his wing and showed me around and let me sit in his truck with him, even bring a couple dogs. And then we're still best friends to this day.
It helps. It definitely helps just to have someone tell you you're stupid.
And he was a super cool guy. He wasn't like one of those guys that, you guys get mad when, like they couldn't go that day and you catch a lion or whatever, and they get mad that you went and caught a lion or whatever. And he was never like that. He was always super cool and happy and liked seeing the videos.
He also respected boundaries.
But yeah, my wife just said he respected his boundaries too. We didn't stack on top of each other like, if he had his little sweet spots, I wouldn't go in there unless I called him before and asked him if I could. That's one thing that irritates the shit out of me.
That's a big deal these days too. A big deal.
The country's shrinking. The country's shrinking. There's a lot more guys doing it.
I had a friend of mine that had hunted with me in this country and brought a pretty well-known lion hunter in here to hunt. They spent one day out there. He said, "No." He said, "I'll go somewhere else." So I didn't have that stuff, but I got to call him out. You talk about the nicest people I've met in a long, long time. I had ordered a couple of head stalls a long time ago, and then I know this is, I ride through the brush a lot, and you can't hardly see it, but I get these bruises on my arm constantly, and I think it's because I'm holding my arm up on both sides. And he made me some leather cuffs, some old cowboy leather cuffs,
Those are so great.
He made me the head stalls. And matter of fact, I'll get you some to raffle off, Chris. They're really cool. And nicest people in the world. Walking H Saddle and Tack. He's the one, James Morris is the one who he bought out all his gear, all his equipment. He can't do it anymore. I think James is in a home now. But James has built the saddle for me and done a bunch of stuff for me, built my saddle scabbard. And I'm going to work out a deal with him. What's that?
James is a super good guy, Brad.
Super good guy. And this guy's, they're really, really nice people. And I wish I had them. They're way back in my truck on the other side of the property there. But super good craftsmanship. And I'm going to have him, like I have a saddle scabbard that's just perfect for my 30-30. And then I got another gun I want to take to be able to go out and shoot some coyotes. And I'm going to have him build a scabbard for it. But I'm going to offer all those things. I'll show them to everybody. Because the guy does super good work and he's pretty reasonable. And anyway, Walking H Saddlery. I just talked to him today and got the stuff. So it's really cool.
Is he located at James Morris's, or is he somewhere else now?
No, he's up here by Oregon.
Oh, okay.
But
those cuffs,
I go a lot of people all the time.
Yeah,
a lot of people discount those cuffs, and I always kind of forget about them too. But man, those cuffs save you. Even if, like Jared walks a lot, if Jared wore those cuffs, he'd probably never take them off.
Yep.
How about your new boots?
Yeah, he made me some. I got 2 pair that he made me, and they're nice.
Yep.
But especially on those mules, when you're busting brush and you're going through there, you know how you always just kind of put your arms up like that and go through the brush, protect your head, and you end up bruising up your arms and everything because those mules just put their ears back and close their eyes and just go through there.
Yeah, they don't stop. They don't try to go around. They just go wherever they want to go.
All my mules except one, I teach them to feather. You know, you just kind of pick up on them a little bit, and they'll slow down, stop, and then you let them go a little bit. That little black mule I had, I don't know if Benny remembered her. White stocking feet, real fancy looking mule. Golly, when you hit a brush pile, she just went 90 miles an hour through it. And if there was something there to rake you off, you got raked off.
Mm.
But anyway, I thought I'd share. Since I'm in the salesmanship mood tonight.
You want to throw an OnX ad up real quick too? Or
OnX Maps, boys. Let's see if I got one. First that. Use that code 100 years and I think you get 20% off with that too.
That's
Yes, you
handy.
do.
Yeah, they're and that guy I deal with at OnX, he's a super good guy. And then I got that too. OnX Hunt. There you go. And that's one thing. That's something that I do use a lot. I use OnX. Like when I went out here, I went to the big Floridas the other day. And I wasn't sure how to get to where I wanted to go. So you pull up OnX Map and it's got a route feature. And you can you see where you want to go and then it'll show you the roads and you can just build you a route. I do it on my computer and then it automatically is saved on my cell phone. And then I can just follow that route when I'm going. It's really pretty handy.
I wish OnX had a thing you could grade roads. Like
on how good they are or how bad they are.
Be a road. Yeah.
Do not take.
Or trails.
This road's not really a road. The wagon train took it back in the 1800s.
Exactly. Trail's the same way. You know, nobody's used that trail for 50 years. It's all brushed over and everything, but it's on the map. You ride up there and you think, oh man, it says I can get through here, but you can't.
Yep.
I was hunting with Jim Brooks, and there was an old Mexican man that did all the work in all that country, Abel Baca. He's built all the fences, built all the water tanks, any rock work Abel did. And Jim told me we were off of must have been West Cedar Mountain. We were trying to get down off of the north side of West Cedar, and he says, Abel keeps telling me there's a good trail over here, a good trail. He says, I marked it with some rocks up here. You'll see when we get there, it's a good trail. And there was a pile of rocks. He says, this is where the Scoot Trail goes off. And I looked and I said, what the hell? He says, that's what I told Abel. He says, turns out it was a goat trail, not a good trail.
Goat trail, not a good trail. The guy says, can you take, is it possible to load OnX onto a Garmin drive track? I do not know, but I would almost wager to bet you can't because I think they kind of they compete with each other.
Card will not work on the first two, but I heard it works on the third, the Garmin 300. Yeah,
that thing's expensive too, isn't it? That big drive track, whatever.
$300, right?
That's expensive in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd
like to have one for my buggy. I go out and hunt out of my buggy too. I mean,
Jared's wife can buy one. She said she never tells him no. Ask her right now on air.
She just bought me the 300.
Oh,
the drive track?
No, the Alpha.
You're gonna know where you're going except for that way or that way now?
Yeah.
He has a 10.
I use an Alpha 10.
It just has an arrow on it.
That just gives me arrow.
Points where the dog is.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Small.
Yeah. Well, I looked at the 200 when it came out, and I was like, man, I don't have $700 for a handheld, but I do have $400 for a new Alpha 10. And I will say this about the Alpha 10s. I can pick my dogs up 0.2 of a mile farther than the 200s that my buddies have.
Really?
Yeah. That's happened multiple times where I can pick up a dog and they can't yet.
That's
New
what I
Garmin
want.
tread is $1,500.
I'd like to get that for my buggy. Just I go out, like I said, I go out in the buggy, but it's like I can just go hit a couple places and still be back by,
Mhm.
10, 11 o'clock. If you go out on the mule, you're gone all day. I mean, that's just the way it is with me.
Yep.
I
Even
always
on the
want to go over the
300,
next
Tim,
ridge.
I heard the 300 you can use the OnX on it, but not the 200.
I don't know.
I have no clue. I just know the 300's got better battery life than the 200.
Mine lasts a while.
Yeah.
OnX is great, but ruined a lot of honey holes.
Yeah, it gives
I
access
got
to. I tell you who dislikes it probably more than anybody is these ranchers. I mean, the ranchers have their BLM property or whatever that, or
the ones
Forest
that they
Service.
got locked off with the private
Yeah,
property
that
sign on it.
everybody's thought for years was private, and now,
Yeah.
oh well, look it, that's yellow, that's BLM land. I can go in there.
What really ruined the mountains was COVID.
Oh,
Because
everybody started getting it.
everyone bought a side by side during COVID.
Well, before COVID, back out here behind my house
Mm-hmm.
leads up. I cut lion tracks back there before, and they got these little trails that they had, and they were never used. They were just trails somebody had marked at one time, and it's where they ride these bicycles. These, what do you call them?
The e-bikes?
No, motocross bikes or whatever. What do you
The
call them?
The dirt
e-bike?
bikes.
No, not
Oh, just
e-bikes.
motor.
They're
Just a dirt
bicycles.
bike?
Dirt bike? Just a dirt
Yeah, I
bike?
guess whatever. Now they're. I
Oh,
mean,
a mountain?
you can't hardly go out. Mountain bike. That's what they call them. I mean, those guys are out there riding those trails all the time, and then I go through there with a mule with 10 hound dogs. It's not a pleasant experience for them.
No. Like, that's
They're
really bad down in Patagonia. Those hippies will ride through the Patagonia mountain range, through the town of Patagonia, into the mountains, down to Nogales, and then take the 12 miles from Nogales to Patagonia on the highway back into Patagonia.
It's a regular ride.
Yeah.
That's what they have
I
up here
so mad.
on the other side where I go. They have an annual loop race, and they have several of them. There's videos. There's
Yeah.
YouTube videos on it. That guy
Oh,
Ryan Van Duzer or whatever his name is. I ran into him several times up there. He's a big time YouTuber, and I talked to him, and he treated me like I was an idiot.
I got yelled at.
he didn't know who you were.
He didn't care either.
Mm-mm. No, every October they have a
He wasn't
26
going to take
mile
the
mountain
time to
bike
find
race.
out.
Yeah.
So it ruins bear season, the first. And they always do it on that open weekend in October. Every time.
I got called an effing prick by a bicyclist. Shit, that was probably 3 years ago. A lion was walking up that shoulder of the road. Well, there's three bicycles coming down the same shoulder. So I'm sprinting up the lion track trying to push him over. And I made him go around me, and a dude rode around me and then got 50 yards away and called me an effing prick when he was 50 yards away.
Did you say, come back over here? Let's
Yeah.
If there wasn't a lion track right there, I would have freaking ran him down with the pickup.
let's talk about it for a little while.
Mm-hmm. You and your tights will go at it.
I've never had any trouble with any of them. They've when I've run into them, they were always pretty polite and everything. And some of those guys are even kind of fascinated with the dogs. What are you doing out here? So I hunt lions. There's lions out here? I said, yeah, there's a few come through here.
We were turkey hunting this year. We left the dogs in camp because it was a youth turkey hunt. So we said, well, we'll go hunt. Well, my dad started chasing a bear, and then we heard him on the radio. So we went over there, and they were headed towards the res. So I went to cut them off. They went into Unit 1. So I ran around and cut them off, and I was watching them come in, and two bicyclists come on a trail. And they're the same thing. They're kind of like, what are you doing? I said, well, if you wait here long enough, you might be able to see a bear run at you. And they did. They're excited about it, and they weren't hunting or nothing. I said, we ain't going to kill nothing right now, but you might see a bear. And they hung around. those dogs kind of circled around, so they didn't get to see it. But it was on the trail days. So I said, "Well, watch out for them dogs over there. If you hear them dogs, there's probably a bear over there." So they ran it through someone else's camp. Them bears love to run through them camps. I don't know why. But they were excited about it. They didn't have no problem with it. They wanted to see a bear. Most people want to see a bear.
Oh yeah.
Most
Do you
people
guys
don't get to
remember
see a bear.
the old VHS recorders?
Yeah.
My buddies, when they were bear hunting back when it was legal in California, they caught on video of their buddy hearing the dogs coming up, running up to the road, and he's all, "The bear's gonna cross, he's gonna cross," and he like was looking at his friends, and as soon as he turned back to look where the dogs were coming from, that bear steamrolled them across the road.
Dadgum. Did any of you guys see the video of the lady? It must have been in somewhere other country, but where the bear had a cub, and the bear was on her fence in her backyard, and the dogs were barking at the bear, and that bear grabbed one of those dogs, and that lady came out with a broom, I think it was, and just beat the hell out of that bear. Thought, man, she's like my ex-wife.
Oh, that's funny.
No.
Hell, that's like my first wife. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's you're.
That's why he keeps the spear next to him.
Yeah,
Not
self-defense.
good. Yeah.
Yep.
What else have
Well,
we got, guys?
it's a way different day. I think things
Yeah.
are going to, I mean, they already have to change just because of the laws that are coming in and the people. And if you could just get some of these younger guys, and it's older guys too that are posting some dumb stuff, but I think our biggest problem is social media.
It is. I mean,
Honestly.
you get the guys that haven't caught a lot and they want to be recognized and noticed that they're doing something and they're productive at it. And that's what happens.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where you get the guys that have caught a bunch of lions and they don't want anyone to know that they catch lions. They just want people to think they suck and they can kind of go their
Well,
own way and do
some
their own
some
thing.
of us do suck.
Yeah.
It's not all
I can
make
attest to
believe.
that. I can attest to that.
It's not all make believe.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well,
Hey,
like
we got a kid out here.
I
Matter of
said a while back,
go ahead, Benny.
I've only tagged 3 lions in my whole life, so I suck.
That's all you need.
This
Yep.
speaking of mentors and stuff and young guys. Matter of fact, another podcast had talked about this kid that lives down here. He lives next to me. Matter of fact, I caught him a tom years ago. We hunted that tom for 2 days, and we caught him. And you talk about an intense kid that hunts hard. He's got into running coyotes and stuff now, but he is a double tough sucker, and he loves it. He craves it. I sold him my good jump box from then when I used to run staghounds, and I sold it to him, and he put it on his truck, and and then I gave him 3 hounds, and he uses those hounds. They go down in the drainage ditch in the cattails, and they run those coons out of the bottom of the cattails, and those staghounds run those coons down on the ground and catch them.
Oh, shoot.
Pretty cool. He don't care how he gets it done as long as he gets it done. And that's kind of like what I was talking about, the young guys and the old guys. He doesn't care about the process or doing it a certain way. He just wants the result. He just wants however it's done. I mean, with me, I've always thought, and I've only done it one time where, I've done it more than that, but where you trail a line for like 2 days and then you catch him. I mean, to me, that was, that was fun, trying to figure out where he went. helping the dogs with the loses they had, getting them back on the track, trailing until it got too late, and then going back and just camping and thinking, oh man, I know where that lion's going, and then being right, going back and hitting that track again, and then catching him. The other ones I caught the same lion. I've done it a couple times. Caught the same lion 2 times. I didn't do anything with him the first day, and went ahead and caught him the second day. Trailed him out from where I caught him the first day. Trailed him out from where he left there, and trailed him that morning and caught him about noon in another place. And that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Seeing where he didn't go that far, he just circled up and around and through the canyon, came back almost on the opposite side of where he was. And he was a tom too.
Right on.
So, and the little female lion down here, I caught her 3 times. But
Well, in the old days too, those guys, the story where the guy just kept on trailing and said, "I'll find you in the morning." Those guys didn't stop because it was dark. There was no law
stay after it.
that said, yeah, there was no law that said you had to quit at dark. They went and built a fire under the tree the lion was at, kept them in it.
Yeah.
Till the hunter got there.
Yeah.
Well, me and my buddy Skyler, I think, Brett, did you meet Skyler, the redhead?
Oh shoot, I can't remember, Jared.
He was here last week, and his first lion hunt that he went on with me and my buddy Kelly, we started this lion at 8 in the morning, and they treat it the first time at 5:30, 6 o'clock that night.
Oh wow.
And there was a bad jumping lion. He jumped 2 more times after that, and I finally got to see that lion at midnight.
But doing that, don't you get a lot more satisfaction out of that than a
Oh, absolutely. Then a
I
layup.
mean, yeah, then when you trail for an hour and a half, he jumps and he gets in a tree and there he is. Working at it all day long, getting to stay with the dogs and see how they work, and oh, look at Al picked up that lose up there. Look at that young dog. He picked it up, and the other dogs honor him and they go to him, and that to me, that's just talking about it now gets me excited.
I think them jumping toms and bears what build them dogs better too.
Oh, I bet.
Kick
I
one
bet.
out of a tree and let it chase it again. I mean,
oh well, that's yeah. That's done, Benny. Back in the old days, wasn't it?
it's still done today.
Now they just do it on their own.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta. It's called adrenaline.
Yeah.
For me, it was adrenaline. Get up there amongst the varmint and knock him around with a stick and see if you can get him to get out of the tree before he decides to get on you.
Or pull his tail.
I'll tell you, the one that you want to be careful because they'll bring it to you is those bobcats.
They're mean, aren't they?
Oh my gosh. If those things were as big as a bear, we'd all be dead. They'd overtake the cities.
They're mean.
Yeah.
That time I had that bobcat by the tail and was dragging him backwards, and those hound pups all quit. I just almost crapped myself. I didn't know how I was going to get shut of this and live.
Swing it around like those. What are those where they swing those balls around and just throw it?
Hell no! I
Get it as far
was
away from
running
you as you can.
backwards. So I was crawfishing just as hard as I could, just trying to keep that bobcat from turning around. And he finally got switched around, and I gave him my steel toe boot, and he filleted the leather off the toe of my boot. And about that time, the hound pups came back to life, and I said, "Good, I'm not helping you anymore. You guys are on your own. I hope he kills you."
Oh.
What do you see these days, Jared? As far as the younger generation, even the younger, the 20-year-olds coming in. And
Dude, there's some 20-year-olds in Arizona that they are some catching sons of guns and they hit it hard. There's a young kid down by me. He gets after it. He's a young cowboy, so he gets kind of he's still got to work cowboys and that stuff. But if he's got nothing to do on a Monday, he's going. It doesn't matter the weather, the conditions. He's going.
He's going.
Yeah, there's like one of those kids that was at the meeting. I don't know if he talked or not, but I ran into him and we talked for a little bit. He's a catching son of a gun too, and he's 24, 25, something like that. You know, there's
they
some
definitely
good.
got that energy. I wish I
Yeah.
had the
Well, and
energy.
that's going whenever. I mean, just like this morning, I got up and look, and the wind's blowing 15 miles an hour. And I'm not going to go sit on a mule for 5 hours in this wind.
Yep. And those kids, they'll go out and do it. They'll suck it
Mhm.
up and throw a second sweatshirt on.
Brett, do you remember that
And
young man that we met last summer on the Blue? Um, he's got to be in his 20s, and his wife was pregnant. I want to say his name was Chase, but that may be wrong. He, he's over there in that country on the Blue. He's the one doing all the good, I guess.
Is he?
Yeah, both in New Mexico and Arizona. He actually lives in New Mexico.
Well, there's a kid here that, or here, it might be the same guy, kind of a cowboy guy. He, I know who you're talking about. Clayton? Is it? Is his name Clayton?
I don't know, but
There's a
he
kid
had
over.
that his wife was pregnant, and
Yeah,
they were just a young couple.
nice guy. Yeah, real nice guy. Yeah, there's another guy over here. I don't know how he did it, but this unit that not the unit I hunt now, but the unit I used to hunt. It's never been that I know of has never hit the quota, never filled the quota, and it's chock full of lions. And but it's the majority of it is roadless country, and it doesn't get much snow at all. High it does, but he he filled the quota one time. I mean, he had hunters and he went in there and filled it. I forget where he's from. I was a little upset.
Well, that's what Mike used to do, Mike Root.
I don't
You
think
know,
he ever filled that quota.
no, I mean he was one that he could go wherever.
Oh, Mike was a
First
monster.
first time I ever heard about Mike Root was Rob Cox over there in the Oregons. I was hunting over there, Rob's, and he asked me if I knew Mike, and I said never heard of him. And he says, well, he's over here, and he told me where he was, and he said, now that guy, when he decides that he's going to go kill a lion, he said where he was hunting, I guess the Gila, they filled the quota back then, and he said there was 2 lions left over here in the Oregon mountains left on the quota, and Mike had 2 hunters, and he brought his 2 hunters and set up camp. He caught those 2 lions.
Yeah,
And
Mike's fun to
anybody
hunt.
that's driven through that country around Las Cruces, New Mexico, and you see the Oregon mountains over there to the east, it's even worse in person than it looks on the skyline.
Well, those mountains I was in this last week, I talked to
Oh
Mike
yeah,
Root. I talked to Mike Root about them. I said, Mike, have you ever hunted these? And he said, yeah. He said, I went down there and hunted. He said, I won't go back. He said, we trailed lion almost every day. He said, but they get up in those crevices and up those big old steep, nasty canyons. He said, and they just get away from you. You can't hardly get them caught. Now, I caught 2 toms, not in those mountains, but in the little mountains just south of them or north of them. I caught 2 nice toms over there, but that's easy country compared to those. I mean, geez, they're terrible. It's neat country though. If you could hit a lion track going down, that's if he's going down out of that country, then you could probably.
yeah,
get him caught. But if the dogs are going, if you're going up, I think you'd be best just to turn your dogs around, go somewhere
One
else.
thing those guys always, the young kids and even Mike Root, we all have that one spot or one area where you're like, if this cat's or bear's going this way, we ain't doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's 10 minutes in front of us.
Yeah.
When I was younger and in Nevada where the season was 24/7, I didn't care. I was going after it.
Yeah.
Now,
Do you know
now
what
I'm
they
looking, I'm like, man, it's 4 o'clock and I can't be out here at dark anymore, and
do
I
you
don't
know
want to
what they
drop down that hellhole.
you know what they call that, don't you? Wisdom.
Stupidity,
Wisdom.
wisdom.
You've gained wisdom over the years.
Yeah.
Don't get
You
a
need
hair.
to you need to sit out all night under a wet saddle blanket. That's your only comfort in the wintertime, and it's cold. And it doesn't take very much of that, even when I was young, to say, hell, it's about time to start heading back towards the pickup.
I remember one night I burnt a log. It was a 6-foot log, and it was kind of hollowed out, rotten in the middle. And I just put a road flare in it, and I lit that whole log on fire, and I laid next to it all night until the sun came up. That was miserable. I think I got half hour of sleep that whole night.
I spent the night out in a big rainstorm one time, and let me tell you why I like to wear Carhartts, because they're tough and everything, but they are absolutely worthless when they get wet. They weigh about 500 pounds. I was down in that.
Cold. Oh my gosh.
I was way back
Cold,
in.
cold.
I was way back in there, and I couldn't ride my mule. It's steep and slickery and everything, and I had to hike out of that sucker with those 200-pound Carhartts.
Got to carry that lighter. Always carry that lighter.
I don't think I could have. Everything was soaked. I don't think I could have got a fire started. And I just went out on a dog rescue mission. I wasn't even going hunting, and the signal I had on the dogs was down in that bottom. That's where I lost one of those dogs off a bluff that I'd got from Mike Root. They were making some good dogs too.
Those are the ones you lose.
Dumb ones never die.
I got one out there that he's not a bad dog. He just you just ever had one that just rubs you the wrong way. Barks when he's not supposed to bark.
His bark drives you crazy. His way he walks drives you crazy.
And and he's a friendly. He'd make someone a super pet, and he's really, really well bred.
Brad, I had one of those, and I traded it for a custom-made saddle to my specifications. And then that saddle maker gave the dog away to Joel Garnett, and Joel thought that was the best dog he ever had. And then he wanted to breed to the rest of my dogs.
Give you some more of them.
Oh, crap.
Tim's going to go run a bobcat. Good luck, Tim. Jeremiah,
Guys,
he's got to go too.
Go to bed.
Keep your nose to the wind and your eyes on the skyline.
Yep. You got my phone chargers.
Guys, it's been 2 hours. We've been trying to cut this an hour short. 3 hours just wears me out. What do you think?
I'm
right
out.
up to you.
You got anything? Anybody else got anything? Any good stories or anything to tell?
Listen to the old timers.
Yeah.
Why they're around. Because those guys are getting, it's not a dime a dozen no more. They're getting a little bit more rare. Just listen to the stories for motivation.
Well, yeah, and then every now and then you pick up, they might just say one little thing, doesn't mean nothing to them, and you think, well, dang, I never thought of that.
Yep.
You pick up that one little bit of knowledge that says, well, shit, I didn't know that.
You know the best way to hear the old timer stories is if you have an opportunity to go somewhere and sit down and just shut your mouth and say, I just want to hear some of your stories.
Oh, and take a bottle of whiskey.
Green
The
whiskey,
old brown
green
water.
Kool-Aid.
I've done that before and it worked.
I got the backstory on that was they think that you might have been more looped than them.
I might have. But when I went to leave, I had that big old bottle of whiskey. When I went to leave, they said, "Well, here, take this whiskey." I said, "Oh no, leave it here. I don't drink that shit."
I think
Oh
me
well.
and Brett were talking about that today. That there's nowhere to go sit down and just kind of talk with you. It's all internet now, you
Like the
know.
old coffee shops where everybody, all the old timers gathered
Yeah.
around and
Yeah.
drank coffee in the morning.
Well,
Have
the
you
three
guys
of
even
us are
tried to
supposed to.
find a mom and pop shop lately? Holy moly, you can't find nothing that ain't a cafe or a just. There's no old mom and pop shops no more. No old restaurants with the old naggy waitress.
The
Oh,
old
you just come by the house. We'll go to the arena, Fred's Arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bar off a dirt road out here by me,
where are you at again?
Tucson,
Yeah,
off Ajo.
I've been there before.
Yeah, he used to
You're
not
talking.
to, he had opens out there for a long
Yeah,
time.
that's
Yeah.
what I see. I lived out there on Sandera Road,
Sandario.
Sandario Road out there.
Yep.
I lived out there for a
You
while.
heard you heard of pool sharks. Brett was a roping shark. He didn't let them
Yep.
know what his number was.
I went out there and I was riding. I took my good horse and I just loped circles on him. There where I was, there's like 3 roping arenas within riding distance.
Oh
And
yeah.
and I was riding a young horse and I was just kicking over the steers and tracking them across the arena. I wasn't really concerned about catching or anything. I just wanted to get good position and train on my
Hmm.
horse. And they came and told me, they said, "Well, we're going to have a round robin here for $100 a man. Do you want to get in it? There's no numbers or anything. We just all get together. We just rope." I said, "All right." So I went and got
So
on my good horse. I won
what's a
first.
round robin?
That's where everybody rope. Every header ropes with every heeler.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's 10 guys there, you get 10 runs, or 10 headers there, you get 10 runs, whatever. And I won first, second, and third. And they come up to me and they said, "Well, what is your number?" I said, "Well, I'm a number 8." I said, "Oh no." Next time
You
I went
gotta
down there,
go
they had
away.
it. Next time went down there, they had it capped. They capped it at a
Fours
number
and
6.
fives.
Yeah,
Oh,
5 or 6, I can't remember. So I just
yeah.
lope circles on my horse. But
Well,
I'm
you
going to
should
take
get
this
better
mule.
then.
I'm going to take this mule I got now. I talked to a buddy of mine, has an arena down here. He's a really good roper, and his daughter's a good roper. And I asked him if he had some steers and stuff, and he said, "Yeah, I'm going to take this mule I got now and see if I can rope a few steers on her." Because she rides around like a horse. She rides around nice.
Heck yeah.
Maybe they'll
I
lower
roped
my
off my I roped off my donkey. She did all right.
out of the box.
No, I didn't do that. I was just pushing through the middle of a
Oh,
corral and no.
that's kind of a when they got that stop clock and you're roping out of the box, it makes a difference.
Yeah, no. I was just happy she let me throw a rope on her and pull backwards, and well, I could bump them cattle right through the middle of them, and she
Never
didn't
bothered
freak
her.
out or nothing. Nope, nope.
Oh man, look at
This is the
this. We
best
got is I hope this is a girl.
flaw. Is that Jeremiah's old lady,
I think that's got to be Jeremiah's wife.
or maybe it's? Hey, I thought we were blind. I already got told "f you." You missed it, Jared. And
Oh yeah.
I think we should quit right there on that. Us boys are so
I
handsome.
could.
Hey, let me
You should
throw in
actually
this,
just
Brett.
leave that up,
Go ahead, Benny.
and we
Yep.
go away.
I just texted Kelly. She's busy. She hadn't texted me back, but we'll come up with the dates for Earn Your Spurs. We're supposed to be there on another live deal this year.
Okay.
And anybody that wants to hear some of the old timer stories, if you'll come support Earn Your Spurs at Douglas, Arizona, it'll be in April sometime. I guarantee you'll have a good time for everything going on, and I'll introduce you to some of those old people.
That's
Right
it.
on.
That's a
That's
lot of
something we're
fun.
going to right there.
Yeah, and we'll be there in person and live. We sat up last
Cause
time, didn't we?
trouble. Yeah.
It was Jeremiah, son of a gun. He had to switch phones.
Dad gummit, I thought we had a girlfriend out there somewhere.
Maybe. I
Anyway,
think.
you
Yep.
guys
All right.
Benny,
have a good evening.
hasta luego.
See ya.
See you, Benny.
Benny's got a job.
Jared?
He's got to go work tomorrow.
I know.
Yeah, I gotta go do the same thing.
Oh, I don't.
I got to go watch 2 6-year-old kindergartners sing at a Christmas thing.
So I just got off the phone with my old foreman, and he's talking about me going back up to Nevada and working for him in the summer. And he's all, "You'll love it." He's like, "I got 2 Hound guys on my crew now," and I'm like, "Oh, good deal."
Yeah. Does he want you guys to
I've never-
work or?
Yeah, it's just I've never heard of these 2 guys, but yeah, we'll see how it goes this summer.
I guess you'll be the mentor.
Well, yeah, well, we'll be working in California, but putting up deer fence and everything else. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Lots of good compliments.
Yeah, it was fun tonight, guys. Jared, thanks for stopping in. Always, you got that link.
Yeah.
Jump
No,
in.
thanks.
We like to look
Yeah.
at you every now and then. It makes us look good.
I had I had to do paperwork. It took me I didn't think the paperwork was going to take me that long tonight, but it took me forever. Well, my wife forever. I had to sit there
Paperwork.
and
What kind of
ask
paperwork are you doing?
questions. Just the special use paperwork for the Forest Service.
Oh, yeah.
Get their
Yeah,
money.
it's that time of year. Yeah,
Gotta
cool.
get their money.
Sounds good.
All righty.
What do you think, Chris?
Time to go pretend I love my wife.
there
Say-
you go.
Say goodbye to all these brainwashed idiots.
Mm-hmm. Blind. You're all blind.
Blind.
Fine.
Mr. Blind over there. All right, guys.
I love you. I love you,
All
Terry
right.
Matler. I love you.
Chris is apologizing,
Oh, boy.
Terry. If you're, we know you're
Hey,
still
hey.
listening. Chris is
He-
Did you
apologizing.
make Terry mad?
7 minutes. 7 minutes after he not going to watch this show no more, he jumped on and made a post about me, or posted and said something.
Said, called you an
just wanted
asshole,
to-
didn't he? Call you an asshole?
No, he called
An
me
ass. He called you an ass. A blind ass.
Blind. I don't know what it was. I'll take it. Whatever.
Chris
Didn't he
kinda
also
got his-
say that you were a Kamala supporter too?
He says all kinds of stuff. He said I made a post about him. He said the Game and Fish is corrupt, and he made me angry. You might want to go back and watch it.
Chris
I
got kind of
angry.
ruffled up there for a little while.
Oh, that guy.
Oh man.
You know, I try to be nice, but whatever. He said he's never coming on this show again.
He'll be
So,
back.
Darn it.
He'll be back. He'll
I
be
hope
on
he comes
Wednesday.
back just to poke at Chris. That's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah,
That's right.
he just kind of.
Chris is living in his head rent free.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he said it was all about attention on that he posted on. It was on Mountain Music and Mules. He said he deleted me a long time ago, but he's still friends with me on there because I can still click. I'm like, what? No, you didn't. He just keeps saying this stuff. Jeez.
He
At least
probably
make sure-
says all that stuff and just sits back and laughs. Probably
Yeah.
just having a lot of fun with you.
I won't even think about him once I'm off of here.
All right, guys.
All
right.
right. See you guys.
Hasta
later.
luego. See you next time
Adios.
in broad.